Hello everybody and welcome back to Alma. So I've just remembered why I kept the lorry and the flatbed trailer on lease when we slept through the night, and that was because we had a load of products at the sawmill, which we're currently on our way with. Oh, I don't want to be on that camera. Currently on our way with timber. So there is maybe, well, there won't even be half a load, whether it be lorry or trailer left to fill in. So we are going to have to cut some more trees down at some point. I'm just hoping that this sawmill takes a little bit of a while to get through it all, so that we can avoid having to do that. So we are going to have a look once we get here. I'm going to have a look at what lorries are available to us, and obviously what trailers are available to us. Because I know the trailer that we did lease, we use that a lot, which there's a reason for that, because it is just an absolute brilliant trailer to go for. And lorry wise, we want to keep with sort of the American theme if possible, so we won't be going for a Mercedes, and possibly won't even go for a Volvo, but time will tell. Obviously you can see how much products we've got there, so we're going to make a fair bit of money through that. If we park just here in the middle so we can get this unfolded, because this is what we're going to do. This somewhat realistic is the plan. And if we go onto here and have a look at trucks, so there's this International, which that to me looks more like, well, that looks like the American Eagle, but I don't know, for whatever reason it looks more Australian to me than American. So we've got that as a choice, which is 60,000. What else? So the Plains and Prairies pack, we haven't touched that at all. So that could be a good shout. Another International. And what's that? 83. So we went. Oh, that soon bumps it up. So let's just. 515 horsepower is 131. If we went for this one, engine up 120 for 515. So that max seems a much better buy than the Plains and Prairies one. We're not going with a sleeper cab. I think let's just go with a bog standard day cab and 120. So we can just about afford this. So let's buy that. And then if we go onto our trailers, which is low loaders, let's see what we have here. So there's this one, which is £28,000, which you'll get a fair bit, but I'm more looking for a completely, obviously you'll have your step up, but a completely flat one. Bandit, what's that? That must be more excavator type job. I'm not going for a dolly, or I don't know which one to go for now. Out of this one and the Load King, they look roughly about the same. Are they the same? So the Load Kings are making this a lot more complicated than what it needs to be. That's just too small. I'm going with the Load King. So if we hire purchase, okay, we can only do 5%. We will go, because once we've sold everything, we can pay it off. Let's go monthly cost. Let's get that down to a monthly cost of that. So let's purchase that. Right, and then that now gives us, we can unload all this timber out of these trailers. We can then go get the truck and trailer and start loading it with bits of wood to go sell. So I can't work out why it auto-loaded then. I was just looking at the F1 menu and I haven't turned anything on since buying it, so yeah, just a bit interesting. So I'd rather load things up myself whilst I can. So let's keep selling this. There's 100, what's that, 30, 40, 50, well, £153,000. So we've basically got all our money back. But we do have the trailer on hire purchase. So this can stay at the sawmill for now, because I don't think, let this go past, I don't think we're going to need it for a little while. But this trailer is massive. It cuts the corners, something rotten. But if we ever do need to transport vehicles around, we've got the perfect trailer now just to back them on to reverse, because obviously we can unfold the back down and drive things up. So this will stay up here. Again, we're going to have to give it a really wide berth like this. We will leave this something like here. But I don't think we've actually looked in the cab of this, which it is very, very fancy. I wish everything was interactive control, you know, where you could press up buttons and all that sort of thing, because I estimate I'd be more inclined to do it if they did it for base game. But right, let's have a look at what else we have to do. We need to water the greenhouses. If we don't do this before we sleep, then we will lose out on making money. And considering we now have the truck, I am going to, well, we might as well empty this out. We're going to sell this, and then we're going to buy the bigger one for the truck, which I think they're about £90,000. So they're a lot of money, but we're in a fortunate position where we can afford to do it. So if we go through here, barrels, the Alma one, so 90,000. Let's just buy that outright, which leaves us with 66. We can then go and sell this, which will bring us, we may get back to 80,000 maybe from selling this. You've probably noticed I am turning my attention away from land just for the time being, so that we can upgrade all our equipment, because once we do buy more and more land, it's going to cost us an absolute fortune. Well, if we buy more, not an absolute fortune, if we buy more and more land without upgrading the equipment, we're going to then be wanting to do getting bigger equipment, because it will take us so much time to, what? I don't want to customize, I want to sell. Okay. Ah, I've got to go there. Sell. Yeah. So if we were to go buy a load of land before we'd bought the bigger combine and all that sort of thing, it would have taken us an absolute age to get through things. So by selling the equipment we don't need and then investing all the money we're getting into bigger equipment will mean that we can start to acquire more land, and we'll get through it in a similar sort of time from the land we had this harvest. Right, this needs to go back. We'll go get the Mac and we'll put that onto the water trailer and bring that back to the yard, and then we can load up the greenhouses ready to rest, and then we may be able to start drilling next month. So I don't mind time-lapsing this now, because we're doing a lot bigger loads, so it will only be 3 if not 4 loads maybe to do the lot. Slight problem. I did think about doing it before we moved on, but I changed my mind. I thought we might as well, whilst we've got the tanker on, we can move on and get another load of milk. We need to go to that cornfield to go plough the tram lines out. We won't be able to see the tram lines now because of the snow. So yeah, slight little problem. And you would have seen our eggs, the early eggs, milk, well, the eggs, the goat's milk and the wool were going absolutely crazy at us because the spawn points are full, which is the only really annoying thing about those spawn. The eggs is my fault, but for the sheep, for the wool and the milk there, it's really quite annoying that it's such a small spawn trigger. So you cannot get a lot actually there. So we'll go back to the ad and let's just see whether we can move some stuff out the way. This is doing phenomenally well in the snow, especially because it's just got road tyres on. Yeah, we're just doing 50 odd mile an hour there. So I am very much in favour of this truck at the moment, that is for certain. It looks like we're going very red at the minute. We've got a red truck, red combine, we do have a red tractor, we have 2 green ones, but we also have a red forklift. Okay, we can just see them, so that's alright, but this is what I'm hoping we can just drive in to begin with. If this starts getting stuck, then we won't be able to do this, but we're going to have to move the milk out the way, move the wool, and then go move the eggs. Which, as I say, eggs, that's completely my fault. I should have moved them before we moved on time, but anyways, I forgot. It's always one of the things that I do forget is when you're running 2 series, you know, unless you do back to back, which I have just done with Saxlium, you know, recorded 2 episodes back to back, you forget. But then even doing it that way, if you record 2 at Saxlium together and then 1 on Alma, you're going to forget what you're doing on Alma. Well, alright, let's get these ones. Like so. And I will just very quickly, off camera, get this all sorted, and then we'll go to the eggs, stack all them up and bring them back to the cold room, where you'll see I've finally decided to close the door on it. So in the next hour or 2 the chickens are going to run out of food, so I'm going to just double check that we don't have anything left that we can give them. Let's hope. Oh, I turned the lights on. Open the door please. I'll just make sure that there's nothing left in storage for them that we can give. No. So I will buy, I think I'll buy 4 bags of chicken food, 4 bags of wheat or whatever it is, and then that should keep them going long enough. I've got the wool is all moved now around the side. That's all the eggs, because they'll fetch us a pretty penny when it comes to it. The sheep have finally used their last bale that was outside, so I better just check them as well, because what I'd like to go do is plough out those tram lines, which we can see luckily in this, and then it may even be worth trying to get some more slurry down. But again, with this snow, it all just depends how much we can actually see. So let's leave that there and close the door. Oh, we wanted to check the animals. So yeah, chickens, we'll get 4 bags for them. Oh dear, cows are completely out. And the sheep. Ooh, okay. We're not looking after our animals very well, are we? We're going to get the mixer. We'll mix a load of food for the cows, and we'll get the tram lines ploughed out all in a time lapse. So I'm just thinking next month we can start to get drilling, where we're going to have to look at maybe drilling half our fields next month and getting them rolled, and then drill, because most crops you've got 2 months to do it, and then drill the rest and then get them rolled, just to try, move through the months whilst also splitting up what we're doing. My hope is this is the last time, well, not the last time, but my hope is this is, we won't do it as much as we are doing this year, doing everything in the spring. Yeah, we'll put some winter ones in come next year, but it's just obviously figuring out which ones we can do. So that now, to the best of my knowledge, is all our fields, the tram lines, ripped out. So obviously at I forget who it was now, but one of you very kind viewers sent me a message saying in their commented on a video saying that they don't see tram lines in their area. So my plan is, with taking them all out, we can get on with the hoe, get that done first, and get them drilled with fertiliser, meaning that we shouldn't need to go back on or back over them at all until it's time to harvest. So thus we won't need tram lines. But right, let's go park this up, and then we're going to have a look to see whether we have a set of rolls, because I think it would be most beneficial to get the biggest ones we can get. And I think it's wool next month to sell, so there's 100,000 there in wool, and we may also have some timber to sell again, because we've moved on, and there'll be £100,000 worth of timber there. When I say timber, I mean obviously timber products that we'll have at the sawmill. This may just want a quick wash off, because I don't know the next time we'll be using this, because with the tram lines now out, there we go, dirt wasn't going down then, it will only be if we buy another field and that has tram lines in, then we'll need that to take out, and or we have periodic ploughing still on, so it'll be whether that needs ploughing. 5%, and that is now clean, although a bit rusty and a bit worse for wear. But what do you expect of a machine that you're putting into the ground, which is pulling against stone and all sorts? It's never going to be picture perfect. Right, so we can drop that in there. There's no fields. I'm not going to go over with the disc harrows to smooth the fields over. So I want to, if we go back to here, so you can see we've got a fair few products. That should really be indoors, but we need another shed. What are these like now? Because I didn't check. So they're not far off being full. There is over here. Let's have a quick look. Food-wise, they're absolutely fine. So we're going to go jump back in the truck. I need to find somewhere to store this. We're going to have like sort of a lorry parking storage place. Where did I leave the big trailer? Did I leave that up at the not the chickens. Did I leave that up at the sawmill? Because if I did, what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go load up with the timber again, get that sold. And we also need to go get chicken food. So let's go on to here. Here's my big trailer up here. Yes. Right. Let's go up here and just off camera I'll get it all loaded, all the timber. Hey, look at that. Is that new roofs being put on? That's cool. Right. This timber is really paying for everything that we need, because there's another £160,000 just there. So you think we're making £160,000 a day if this keeps up. And what does... Ooh, we need roof plates. But we can carry on doing the planks long and wooden beams. But where do we get the roof plates from? Oh, that must be the sort of the underlay of the roof, and then the roof plates to go on top. Right, let's now go to the store, because we are just going to bob into here, and if we go big bags, we want some wheat. We'll get 4 bags of them. Buy. And we'll get them loaded up, and we can go feed the chickens. I really hope this is going to work now. because we've always tipped in with the trailer. I'm hoping if I can pull close enough to the side, because there won't be any pallets, that I can then just tip straight out from the bottom of the trailer. And I've just driven our brand new truck into the fence of the chickens. So let's just take the straps off, and if it does work, we should see from underneath, where it's not the best to look underneath this one, them going in. There we go, there's 2, 4. Brilliant, so they are now unloading straight into the trigger. So there's now 4,000 litres of wheat in, so they're fine for now. And is there anything else now that needs selling? Obviously we've done the wood, we still have, obviously we've got the dairy and all that sort of thing. So let's go on to here. So wool, that's in a month or two. Wooden beams, we've just sold them. Strawberry yogurt can go and be sold. It's never ending, this just trying to sell everything. Straw is January, so but we don't want to sell any of that, to be fair. Soybeans is July, so we want to keep hold of them. Silage I'm not selling, just look at anything that's worth value. Right, so it's just strawberry yogurt to sell, and we'll take our little van and trailer for that, because there'll be no need to take this big berth around there. But I will just spin this round and leave this here for now. And at some point we are going to have to go to the forest with a stump grinder, grind out all those old stumps and start planting new trees. So otherwise it's just a waste of space. Let's turn that off. Let's go to this, is what we now want. Oh, that's why it was getting a bit jutty. I was finally removing all the snow. But right, we will crash into the diesel tank, and then we'll go make our way to the dairy. We'll load up with the strawberry yogurt, we'll get that sold, and then I think that would be very close to the end of this episode. Strawberry yogurt is worth so much. There's 14,000 of strawberry yogurt we've got. 19,000 pounds. You know, that's 2,500 litres. It is saying go to Marshall. I'm not going there, so I'm going to go to the supermarket here, which is just around the corner. So we'll sell it there. We'll just have to wait for that other load to come through. On the trailer, there we go. So that's 15, just over 15,000 with an extra 1,200 in the bank. So that is going to be it for today. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.